Hi everyone, and while we were watching Russian Championship, Ukraine held a very important tournament where the best Ukrainian gymnasts performed. I doubted for some time should I do a separate video about it, but she insisted. There were many kinda weird things, and I think that I need to tell you about them more. So sit down and enjoy not only the results of this competition, but also other different thoughts about it. And don't forget to support the subscribe button. In the beginning of the March, Ukraine hosted the National Cup on Rhythmic Gymnastics for both senior and junior individual and group programs. It was pretty strange, and it was followed by many complaints and reproaches to the organizers and even to Ukrainian Federation of Gymnastics. Apparently, the biggest problem for audience was the paid livestream, but unfortunately, the leaders of the national team wasn't shown. As far as I remember, a similar situation when the leader of the national team weren't shown happened in Russia last year. Back then, Irina Wiener commented that judges evaluate the exercises in advance and do not rejudge at competition. However, this year there weren't any secrets with the exercises in Russia, but in Ukraine they came out of nowhere. And the federation didn't give any comments about that anyway. We can suppose that the national team want to conceal the exercises of gymnasts to surprise everyone at the next tournaments, because according to rumors from the audience, the gymnasts have new exercises, but there are also assumptions that they are hiding them, that no one could notice that they have pushed their so-called favorite gymnast forward. And also the secret was not only with the performance, but also with the scores. The scores at the tournament weren't announced, and the girl just simply performed without any feedback from the judges. In such condition, it was pretty logical that there would be some rumors that the scores were increased by the head coach. Basically, the situation is very similar to what has happened in Russia, but in Russia there are not so many questions to the leaders of the national team, but in Ukraine there are some of them. So, in the all-round Cup of Ukraine in the senior program, Meleschuk took the first place. At this championship, Yeva performed well. There weren't any specific concerns about them. She felt onto the hoop and she did other exercises relatively stable. Actually, there are some doubts about her first place, whether this was a provocation from Irina to motivate the rest of the gymnasts from the national team. These assumptions appeared because Eva wasn't at the list of the favorites and the candidates for the leadership places, and now she took the first places, and also she participated in the European Championship. Now she's one of the possible candidates for Olympic Games, but who will she replace? Maybe Vlada Nikolchenko? There is a big question here. By the way, Eva wasn't announced for the next World Cup in Sofia, but girls who took second and the third places in the National Cup were. The second place was taken by Victoria Onoprienko, and until recently she was the main leader until she was removed from the European Championship and replaced by Vlada and Eva. After that, many questions arose, and the only thing that can explain this is her trauma. But in general, European Championship was very confusing and weird, and if you want to know about it more, there is a separate playlist on this channel. But generally, if Victoria had a trauma, then it is clear why she couldn't do everything that she wanted in this tournament. And the third place was taken by Christina Pogranichnaya, and she is a separate story. It has been long rumored that Christina is disliked in the national team, and I have talked about this several times on this channel, so subscribe to the channel to not miss such things. Well, there is some reason why they don't really like her. First of all, she is rarely included in the major tournaments because she mainly trains in Lviv. Given that, she shows a good results. In general, it feels like she's being pushed from the top positions, but again, there is an excuse. Compared to other girls, she doesn't have such difficult programs. However, she is much more stable than others from the national team, and that's why she showed good results at international tournaments. But Christina hasn't participated at the international competitions for a very long time, and according to the official sources, this is because of the injury. So everything is very unclear about her. It has been long been known to everyone that Christina trains mainly in Lviv region, and she trains along with her coach and not under the leadership of the Diogenes. Perhaps this is one of the main reasons why she has such a confusing relationship with the national team, despite the fact that she still represents her country at the international competitions. Well, about Vlada Nikolchenko, who wasn't even in the top 3, there are also so many questions about her. Let's start with the fact that she performed in the all-round, but only with 3 apparatus, and she didn't do exercise with a ribbon. And there is several versions that could explain what is happening with her. The protocols said that Vlada was injured, but on the next day she performed in the finals and even won the medal. Some people wrote thought that Vlada performed on the next day with the ribbon in finals, but according to the protocols, she wasn't listed. So apparently, she performed poorly for herself and definitely not for the scores. Well, anyway, it is pretty curious which kind of injury was cured just in an overnight. It was also said that Vlada withdrew from the ribbon in the all-round because she was nauseous, and this version makes me scary because the whole situation looks kinda similar to the health problem of Alexandra Soldatova. Withdrawal from the competition, then the return, being in a strange shape. Just as a reminder, Vlada is the leader of the national team, although now I'm not sure who is the leader of the national team in Ukraine. So, in general, I don't want that Vlada has the same problems such as Sasha did, and if she withdrew because she had nausea, then this looks like an eating disorder. Taking into account that the pressure before the Olympics, it could have happened due to the nervous tension. There is also one more version that Vlada was very dissatisfied about her unsuccessful performance with the clubs. She just simply wanted to freak out and left the gym. This is possible because Irina Dirigina once mentioned that she has a difficult personality. Maybe after the failure with the clubs, she clearly understood that she wouldn't be able to take the prize, and for her it would be very humiliating, and she chose to leave the audience. The last thing I want to believe is this version. By judging by all the interviews, it looks like this is the truth. And now we have question why Irina Dirigina is still working with her if Vlada behaves in a such bad way. Is this only because of her height and physical appearance? Can the leader of the national team be like that? I have a really big question. It can be just love to Vlada from her trainers, but is there any point to first person to do something if she doesn't want to? And most probably it will not bring the Olympic medal. The only excuse is that there were some internal problems and the coaches are trying to keep Vlada in the national team, and also an eating disorder. In general, we can only guess, but this whole situation is really scary, especially when everything is hidden from the original people. The world of the internet is very open. As one wise man once told me, is that adults sometimes just forget that now there is the internet, and if you could just sneeze, the whole world will know about it. And now it turns out that the more they conceal, the more various speculation appears. I'm waiting for your options in the comments. What do you think what is happening there, and what happens with Vlad in your opinion? So there were also medals in finals, and there was also very strange things. Two gymnasts in the one place as at the match meetings, although such things have been practiced in Ukraine for a long time. So the final with the hoop was won by Victoria Onoprienko, silver by Christina Pogranichnaya, and bronze by Vlada Nikolchenko. The final with the ball was won by Victoria Onoprienko, silver by Meleschuk, and the bronze by Meleschuk. The final with clubs was won by Meleschuk, silver by Meleschuk, and the third place was shared by Christina Pogranichnaya and Vlada Nikolchenko. In the finals with ribbon, the gold medal was won again by Meleschuk, silver medals were won by Meleschuk and Christina Pogranichnaya, and bronze by Lena. Well, returning to the question with Christina Pogranichnaya, it was pretty funny that she was the one who shared places with gymnasts who represent Kiev. In group exercises, it was not surprising that the national team of Ukraine took the first place, although the start was very difficult for them. Valeria Yuzvak, the team captain, was forced to leave the team because she had a malicious tumor and she went to Germany for a treatment. So at least emotionally it was the most difficult start, and overall this is not the best period for the team. The second place in the all-round was taken by the team of Dnipropetrovsk region, and the bronze was won by the team Kiev 2. In the finals of individual events in each practice, gold medals were won by the national team, silver with the balls was won by the Kiev 2, and bronze for the team Kiev 3. In the finals with hoops and the clubs, the silver was won by Dnipropetrovsk region, and the third place was shared by two teams, the team of Lviv and the team Kiev 3. Do you have a feeling that the Lviv region is generally neglected? And this is not about Christina. In general, on the eve of the Olympics, real intrigues unfold in each country, and despite the fact that there is very little time left before the biggest tournament in the world. Nothing is clear in any country yet. And this is not because of the coronavirus, but in general because of the preparation of gymnasts. So this 5 months will be very stressful and exciting for everyone. I look forward for your comments about the situation in Ukraine with the gymnast. I'm happy to read what you think about it. Well, see you very soon in the next video. Remember that I love you all very much, and bye bye!